yang berkenaan itu tadi.
For the Muslim community in general, any efforts to counter the radical ideology should begin not only with the right teachings and doctrines of Islam, but also the correct approach to learning religion.
If you can somehow inculcate the value of reason and rational discourse, and somehow create the circumstances where people remain engaged in dialogue, then I think you're making it more and more difficult for violent groups to get, access to the mainstream public.
Hence the need to provide a holistic approach to religious learning, as this will provide the believer with a much broader view of the religion and its teachings.
But they must also understand that you have to go beyond the text of Islam. You have to go into social, political environment, so that you can explain to them what is going on and what have you. Because at the end of the day, these events are real events. It is happening across the world. And it is clear that the terrorists use these events as a bait, and then putting on top of it religious texts, and therefore you have a very lethal combination.
This is also the approach that underpins various programs undertaken by the Singapore Muslim community to address the issue of radical Islam. With the support of the government, the Singapore Muslim community has set up the Religious Rehabilitation Group a few years after the arrests of JI members in Singapore. Comprised of mostly prominent religious figures and religious teachers in the community, RRG has been playing important roles in correcting the wrong understanding of Islam.
Well, the RRG has done well all these years, but that alone would not be enough. Because no matter what we do, there would be other threats that we face. And the RRG will continue with its efforts. But apart from the RRG, we also need the support of many other groups to come in and deal with this problem. So the RRG has gone out to the mosques and have held public forums, and they have also engaged other community organizations to deal with this problem.
A path-breaking work that has now gained a worldwide attention. It is not something members of the RRG sought to address when they first undertook the task as religious counsellors to the detainees. The tasks that RRG has set for itself are not just to provide religious rehabilitation to the detainees. It is also to undertake efforts to prevent others from being brainwashed and misled by the same corrupt ideology. This requires a comprehensive approach involving the detainees themselves, their families, as well as the community at large. With its partner, the Aftercare Group is a body of volunteers from a few Malay Muslim organizations comprising of Mendaki, Taman Bachang, Association of Muslim Professionals AMP, Khadijah Mosque and N Naim Mosque. They organize regular visits to the detainees' families. This is to show the families affected that society has not abandoned them because of the mistakes made by their husbands or fathers.
Saya kira kita bertuah kerana kalau dibandingkan di seluruh dunia, Singapura saja yang memberikan peluang kepada masyarakatnya sendiri untuk tampil ke depan, untuk menyertai program membantu isteri, keluarga serta anak-anak tahanan JI. Tidak ada program yang sedemikian rupa di dunia sehingga hari ini.
Through its comprehensive approach in dealing with the issue of radicalism, many experts consider RRG as an excellent model of counter-ideological efforts for other countries to learn from and emulate.
The work that we have done here by the RRG has been noticed by many countries. They have visited the RRG, got briefing from them, and they went away quite impressed by the efforts we have achieved so far, and that they have asked RRG to share their experience with them.
Reaching out to both the detainees as well as their families is seen as an innovative approach to help former radicals return to the right path. The praises and recognition it receives now do not hide the difficult challenges that RRG faced in its early days. Established in 2003, RRG members and their leaders had encountered several challenging situations. Some of them were not equipped with the right tools and the breadth of experience to deal with those involved in terrorism-related activities.
The RRG has done well in terms of reaching out to the detainees. They've come up with a training manual. They have upgraded the skills of the asatizas, which I think is a wonderful outcome in terms of understanding psychology and counseling and so on and so forth. And these are skill sets which I would welcome other asatizas to have.
With more than 3/4 of those arrested been released and deemed safe enough to go back to society, the good works done by RRG in reforming those former radicals has not gone unnoticed. The task ahead is to focus on preventative efforts at curtailing the spread of radical ideology within the Muslim community.
I think the effort must continue, but you probably want to take on a different approach, a different strategy.